The autumn of 2025 will be remembered across the UK for its relentless rain and unseasonably mild temperatures. After a parched spring and summer, autumn arrived with a deluge. Rainfall was 20% above average, totaling 434 millimeters, more than the previous 2 seasons combined. The ground was saturated, puddles lingered, and waterproofs became daily essentials. Despite the rain, temperatures hovered above normal, making the dampness feel humid rather than chilling. The mild air delayed the need for heavy coats and let autumn leaves linger longer than usual. Yet, this wasn't everyone's experience. Regional differences were stark, with some areas drenched and others barely wetter than average. This patchwork of weather set the stage for a dramatic, chilly start to winter. Autumn's rainfall was far from uniform across the UK. Northern Ireland endured its third wettest autumn since 1836, with rainfall 39% above average, while Wales saw its 10th wettest, and Northern England its 5th, with a staggering 45% above normal. Fields flooded, rivers swelled, and walking paths turned to mud. In contrast, Southern England was only 17% wetter than average, and some pockets near London and the Scottish Highlands were even drier than usual. This sharp north-south divide meant some farmers battled floods, while others still felt the effects of summer drought. The impacts of autumn's rain were uneven, with some regions entering winter still facing drought despite the national deluge. The season story is one of extremes, not averages. November 2025 was a month of meteorological whiplash. It began with lingering warmth. Overnight lows reached a near-record 14.8 degrees in Devon, more typical of summer than late autumn. The jet stream pulled subtropical air north, keeping nights muggy and mild. But mid-month, the pattern flipped. Arctic air surged south, temperatures plunged, and the country was gripped by its first real cold snap. Light jackets gave way to heavy coats as frost and even snow arrived, especially on higher ground. Lawns turned from soggy green to frosty white, and scraping ice from windscreens became routine. November's split personality, balmy start, biting finish, was a vivid reminder of the UK's weather volatility. Winter had truly arrived by month's end. November 2019 step i den most 16-25 od temperanda. Weinbach shattered records for both rain and temperature extremes. Yorkshire and Lincolnshire saw their wettest November ever, with relentless downpours and frequent flood warnings. Early in the month, Devon recorded a near-record warm night, while late November brought the UK's coldest November night since 2010, at 12.6 degrees Celsius. My own weather station captured the contrast, the warmest November average by just 0.1 degrees Celsius, but also the most sub-zero nights and wettest days on record. Across the country, November managed to be both warmer than average and deliver a decade-low freeze. The numbers reveal a month of wild swings, proof that averages can hide dramatic extremes. November 2025 will be studied for years as a case of meteorological contradictions. Across the Atlantic, North America faced its own weather drama. The US and Canada were hit by early, powerful Arctic blasts, bringing deep cold and record-breaking snow. Chicago saw its snowiest November day ever, as frigid air collided with moisture to produce disruptive storms. This cold pattern was persistent, with forecasts warning of ongoing deep freezes from Minneapolis to Boston. The early arrival of such cold had major impacts on energy, travel, and daily life for millions. These North American events are linked to Europe's weather as the temperature contrast across the Atlantic supercharges the jet stream. The result, a stormy setup for the UK and Western Europe. The jet stream, a fast-flowing river of air high above the surface of our planet, plays a crucial role in shaping the weather we experience every day. This powerful current of wind, found at altitudes of around 30,000 feet, can reach speeds of over 200 miles per hour, and acts as a guiding force for weather systems across the globe. Its position and strength can mean the difference between calm, settled weather and a period of relentless storms. When the jet stream is particularly strong, as it was in early December 2025, it acts like a high-speed conveyor belt, rapidly hurling Atlantic storms toward the UK and much of northwestern Europe. This fast-moving air current can pick up moisture-laden systems from thousands of miles away and deliver them straight to our shores, often with little warning. The recent surge of Arctic cold across North America didn't just bring frigid temperatures to the continent, It also intensified the jet stream, making it even more forceful. This set up a direct, unbroken storm track from the Atlantic straight toward the UK, increasing the likelihood of frequent and severe weather events. As a result, we're now facing a barrage of low-pressure systems, each one carrying the potential for heavy rain, strong winds, and even flooding. Some of these systems may become so intense that they earn official names, highlighting the risk they pose to communities across the region. However, the story doesn't end there. A stubborn high-pressure system parked over Eastern Europe is acting as a barrier, slowing the progress of these storms. This blocking pattern can cause rain to linger over certain areas for days, increasing the risk of localized flooding and making the weather feel even more unsettled. The ongoing clash between the powerful jet stream and this immovable high-pressure system will be the key factor shaping the UK's weather in the coming weeks. This battle in the atmosphere can lead to unpredictable shifts, with periods of intense storms followed by brief lulls. Meteorologists are watching closely for signs of rapidly deepening storms, a phenomenon known as explosive cyclogenesis. These storms can intensify in just a few hours, bringing dangerous winds, torrential rain, and the potential for widespread disruption along coastlines and inland areas alike. With all these elements in play, the stage is set for a turbulent and dramatic December, where the weather could change rapidly and unpredictably, keeping everyone on their toes. To truly grasp December's wintry potential, we need to look far above our heads, into the stratosphere, a layer of the atmosphere that sits high above the weather we experience on the ground. Here, something remarkable happens every winter: the formation of the polar vortex, a vast, swirling mass of frigid air that circles the Arctic like a spinning top. Under normal conditions, this powerful vortex acts as a barrier, keeping the coldest Arctic air locked up near the North Pole and away from lower latitudes. It's like a giant atmospheric fence, holding back the worst of winter's chill. But sometimes, nature throws a curveball. At the end of November, a rare phenomenon called sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, occurred. This event rapidly heats the upper atmosphere, disrupting the polar vortex's stability. As a result, the vortex began to wobble and weaken, losing its grip on the Arctic's icy air. When this happens, the once-contained cold can escape, spilling southward into regions that are usually much milder. This shift increases the risk of dramatic cold snaps and heavy snowfall, especially in places like the UK and North America. Meteorologists are closely watching computer models, which show the polar vortex struggling to regain its strength. In fact, there are hints that the vortex could weaken even further by mid-December. This ongoing instability makes it more likely that high-pressure systems, known as blocking highs, will form near Greenland. These blocking highs can force the jet stream, the fast-moving river of air that steers our weather, to shift southward, opening the door for more Arctic air to plunge into Europe and North America. The result? A greater chance of cold outbreaks, icy winds, and even the possibility of significant snowfall in areas that don't always see a white Christmas. While it's impossible to guarantee snow on the ground for the holidays, the odds for wintry weather are certainly higher than usual this year. The polar vortex's unpredictable state is a key ingredient in December's wild and fascinating forecast. So, as we move through December, keep an eye on the skies and the stratosphere above. The story of the wobbling polar vortex is still unfolding, and it could shape our winter in surprising ways. As December begins, the UK finds itself on the edge of a truly unpredictable weather roller coaster. Meteorologists are closely watching the skies, as a volatile pattern is set to dominate the coming weeks, bringing a mix of challenges and surprises for millions across the country. A supercharged jet stream is racing across the Atlantic, while a weakened polar vortex hovers nearby. This rare combination is expected to funnel a series of powerful storm systems toward the UK, increasing the likelihood of frequent bouts of wind, heavy rain, and even the occasional thunderstorm. Over the next 2 weeks, the weather will be anything but calm, with rapid changes possible from one day to the next. With the ground already saturated from previous downpours, even moderate rainfall could quickly lead to localized flooding. Rivers and streams are running high, and low-lying areas are especially vulnerable. Communities in flood-prone regions should stay alert, as the risk of disruption to travel and daily life remains significant. Temperatures will start off on the mild side for early December, but this unstable pattern means that a dramatic shift is always possible. If Arctic air manages to break through, rain could quickly turn to snow, particularly in Scotland and northern England. Sudden cold snaps could catch many off guard, so it's wise to keep an eye on the latest forecasts. As we move into the second half of December, the outlook becomes even more uncertain. While some models suggest a return to milder, wetter conditions, others point to a heightened risk of cold spells and significant snowfall. The potential for disruptive, winter weather remains elevated, especially as the festive season approaches. A blocking high-pressure system over northern Europe could play a pivotal role, deflecting Atlantic storms away from the UK and instead drawing in frigid air from the north or east. This setup could lead to prolonged spells of cold, frosty weather, and the possibility of icy winds sweeping across the country. While there's still a chance that December could end up mild and wet, the signals for a colder, snowier festive season are stronger than they've been in recent years. Many are hoping for a white Christmas, and this year, the odds are looking better than usual. One thing is certain, the UK should brace for a dynamic, fast-changing, and potentially wintry month ahead. Whether it's rain, wind, or snow, December promises to keep everyone on their toes. Autumn 2025's wild weather is part of a broader trend of increasing extremes. The UK swung from spring and summer drought to autumn floods, a pattern seen more often in recent years. November's record warmth and deep freeze highlight the growing volatility of our climate. These swings challenge infrastructure and resource management, especially water. The amplified jet stream and early North American cold are symptoms of a more energetic, less predictable system. Our traditional idea of average weather is fading, replaced by a new era of extremes. Preparing for this volatility, from droughts to deluges and sudden cold snaps, is now our greatest challenge.